tonight.
This really part's an integral part of us trying to reach into the smaller communities.
Westjet touches down in the border city. And Operation Maple Flag wraps up at Four Wing Cold Lake. Plus,
I made a vow, I guess, that if I ever recovered, then I would do my best to kind of help my profession.
how one local woman is using her story to create positive change.
This is Newcap News with Michaela Henshaw.
Good evening. The first ever Westjet plane touched down at the Lloydminster Airport on Thursday, and there was a big crowd on site. Our Brett Holden has the story.
The first thing you see when you walk into the Lloydminster Airport is the brand new Westjet desk, logos, and smiling faces everywhere. That is because on Thursday, the first ever Westjet flight landed and departed from the airport.
This really part's an integral part of us trying to reach into the smaller communities to be able to build that connection for all our guests.
Well, it's a huge thing for our community and our region. The amount of people we're going to have coming in now and going out, it's major for us.
At approximately 3:40 p.m., the plane landed to a round of applause. The new flight departs 6 days a week, and a partnership with British Columbia-based company Pacific Coastal Airlines made the opportunity happen.
Well, we think it's an excellent partnership between two well-known Western Canadian companies that share a common corporate culture and a dedication to serving our customers, or as Westjet likes to call them, their guests.
Now, the flight will only go from Lloydminster to Calgary, but the layover in Calgary to, say, Toronto will only be about 30 minutes, and to Vancouver, about 40 as well.
What we've been doing is getting the right mix of an aircraft and a fleet type for us to be able to serve this. Westjet's real plans for the future is about taking more Canadians to the rest of the world and bringing the rest of the world to Canada.
And this may also be a stepping stone for the Lloydminster Airport as well.
Well, there could be some extra airlines. I know there's other airlines that are starting to talk to us about coming into here, so we'll just wait and find out about that.
Brett Holden, Newcap News.
The Royal Canadian Air Force is wrapping up the 51st installment of the Operation Maple Flag. As Brendan Escott tells us, the benefit from the training exercise extends past Canadian borders.
The Cold Lake military base has been echoing with the booming sounds of fighter jets over the past several days. Operation Maple Flag, a large-scale military training exercise, runs annually and provides Canadian and allied forces with unique training opportunities. This year, Belgium, Australia, the United States Navy, and NATO forces are all in attendance.
The Cold Lake Air Weapons Range for us is a crown jewel for the Royal Canadian Air Force for our training, not just during Maple Flag, but also on a daily basis. The opportunity that we have to fly and train in what I would say is a fairly non-restricted airspace is very unique for what we have in Cold Lake.
Unrestricted airspace spanning about 6,500 square kilometers, which for participating countries is relatively unheard of. The weapons range allows participants to drop dummy bombs up to 2,000 pounds onto a diverse range of targets, from simulated urban environments to army bases.
You have some great ranges here. There are a lot of target sets spread out across the ground over a large area, and that brings plenty of opportunities for me and my young team that are flying here at the moment. It's fantastic.
Aside from the environment, participants benefit from the opportunity to train alongside those they may be called into battle with.
Yeah, well, being based in central North Australia, we're a long way from any other country, so we'll take and capitalise any experience, any opportunity that we can get to go and train with other forces. Typically, we don't get that opportunity in Australia too often.
You may be flying a formation and you're flying with, a formation from another country. And if you're able to train and learn and complement what each other are capable of doing in a training environment, when the time comes for us to do operations, we're just ready to deliver.
The exercise objectives change daily and feature different teams flying as attacking or defending forces. They have to contend with ground-level defense equipment like radar scramblers and other pieces that duplicate their adversaries' capabilities. Participating countries are invited by the Canadian Air Force around a year in advance of the exercise and attend if the operations coincide with the training they feel they need.
Because the reality of modern conflict, as we've seen, is that you very rarely go somewhere on your own. You're almost always with your allies. So using these training opportunities to sort of iron out the small differences in how we do business is incredibly beneficial when it comes time to do business for real.
For Newcap News, I'm Brendan Escott.
Well, after cancer and heart disease, stroke is the third largest killer of Canadian adults. The effects of a stroke can be devastating and often require rehabilitation and therapy as part of recovery. We meet one local woman who's turned her recovery journey into bringing positive change both to the healthcare system and stroke education.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that.
March 30th, 2015 started off as just another day for Kristen Travers as she made her morning commute to the Lloydminster Hospital.
I'm a nurse. I was driving to work. It was very early in the morning, and all of a sudden, like a wave of confusion washed over me, and it was like instantly I forgot how to drive. In my disillusioned brain, I thought I was going to work and thought that everything was normal, but obviously it wasn't. And when I got to the hospital, someone said hello to me, and that's the moment I realized I couldn't speak.
At first, Travers was misdiagnosed with a migraine, and by the time she was transferred to Edmonton, where doctors later diagnosed her with a stroke, it was too late to give her the clot-busting drugs, the stroke leaving her with Broca's aphasia.
I could understand everything that was going on around me. In my head, I spoke complete full sentences, but it just, when I went to deliver them, it just couldn't work.
I didn't really know what to do, I think, and I think that's what a lot of people are in, is you don't even know what a stroke is, what it affects.
On average, a stroke happens every 10 minutes in Canada, with women being at higher risk. It's important to know the signs of a stroke. Something Kristen has taken upon herself is not only to push stroke education, but to give back to her line of work after she found herself on the other side.
I made a vow, I guess, that if I ever recovered, then I would do my best to kind of help my profession, because I love nursing and I love the way that we can impact our patients.
After having to relearn how to speak and write, Kristen began talking to healthcare professionals about the importance of compassion.
As you see the recovery start to come, you can start to see that light at the tunnel get a little bit bigger. It's a long tunnel and it's not a smooth ride, but it's there.
And I kind of saw how when people don't think you're there, how they treat you. For the first 3 days, I couldn't express myself at all.
And while her road to recovery continues even 3 years later, Kristen says it's changed her outlook on life and how her and her family choose to live.
Why wait till tomorrow? Everything that you want is here now. The sun comes up in the morning. That means you got another day. Take it.
I think that if I die tomorrow, I just want to know that I can make a difference and that I have made a difference and that my kids can be proud of me.
The City of Lloydminster is looking to make a large purchase in 2019. 3 new street sweepers are up for approval. The city says they need to buy new street sweepers for the 2019 as their current models have approximately 4,500 hours and are nearing their lifespan.
Program, and these things, once they get to a certain level of use, that they cause more mechanical issues than it's worth, and we have to make sure that we have, good equipment that's available to do the streets.
The 3 new sweepers will cost just over $900,000. Mayor Albert says although it's a large expense, the machines have a tough job keeping our roads clean.
Sand, gravel, and debris that they pick up. We're changing brushes on a regular basis, almost daily, if not every second day on the back, and some of the brushes. So it's a lot of moving pieces of machinery.
Once the replacement sweepers arrive, the old equipment will be sold with profits going back into city revenue. Well, students at St. Mary's are heading into the weekend knowing a little bit more about how to safely ride their bikes around the city. Students made their way through pylons and obstacle courses for the bike rodeo in the St. Mary's parking lot this morning while learning about the rules of the road and proper helmet safety.
We decided to give them all a good reminder about all the rules of the road and how to be safe on their bikes. And then there will be some prizes involved and the likes of that.
There's the one to encourage them to keep on going by themselves, like biking by themselves. There's like controlling, staying on balance.
Skills that Sims say are very important for the kids to know, which is why she made prize donations as a little extra incentive for the kids.
I actually bought 5 helmets, one for each grade that's participating this time. So I like to think that there'll be at least one child riding around this summer with a helmet on their heads because I put the money into it.
Sims says a great way to encourage kids to ride safe and wear a helmet is for parents to lead by example. Well, there's lots on the go for the first official weekend of summer. Street Fest is taking over downtown Lloydminster, and Paradise Valley is hosting their 3-city fair. Heather Clegis has the details in this edition of What's Happening. The perfect way to mark the first weekend of summer is by taking part in downtown Lloydminster's Summer Street Fest. It's on tomorrow, so head for downtown Lloydminster starting at 10 a.m. and bring the entire family. They're going to have a kids zone, a sports zone, lots of different kids activities, some live entertainment. You'll see folks walking around on stilts. You just never know what cool things you're going to discover at Summer Street Fest here in downtown Lloydminster tomorrow. Coming up this weekend, the Paradise Valley Ag Society is hosting their annual 3 Cities Fair, and they've got activities planned that the whole family will enjoy. Lots of things for the kids, including a bike parade. There's going to be a kids tractor pull, different kids activities, and new this year at the fair, they've got extreme freestyle bullfighting. Lots of fun Saturday and Sunday in Paradise Valley at the 3 Cities Fair. It's at the first weekend of summer, so we want to set you up with some brand new music. We've got a copy of Lorena McKennett's latest album, Lost Souls. She's a Juno Award winner, and she's got fantastic new music that we want to share with you. If you'd like to win a copy, all you have to do is email your name and daytime phone number to tvcontests@newcap.ca. We want to say thanks to John at Universal Music Canada for setting us up with the music. And coming up on Sunday afternoon, you're invited to a community picnic at Bud Miller Park. So pack a lunch and take part in all the fun and games running from noon until 2. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, I hope you have a great one. I'm Heather Clegis, and that's what's happening.
This is Newcap Sports.
Well, what started as a small meet has become one of the largest annual sporting events in the border city. The ATB Financial Lloydminster Kids of Steel Triathlon saw its largest turnout yet. And as Josh Ryan explains, further expansion is going to take some creativity.
125 kids swam, spun, and sprinted to the finish line in the first Lloydminster Kids Triathlon. 5 years later, that number is at 825.
The kids love it. It's a day out at Bud Miller Park, being active and hanging out with our friends, so win-win.
All local elementary and middle schools band together for the event, utilizing the BioClean Aquatic Center and Bud Miller Park for kids to work together while pushing their own limits.
We have Paradise Valley, Vermilion, Kitscotty, Lashburn, but the majority of them is through the school division.
It's not really about getting a medal or anything. It's more just about doing your best, having fun.
Each year has seen an increase in kids' participation as well as community support.
We had Grinding Gears and Factory Sports come out, and they did bike checks and checked our bikes, so that's new. Maybe doubled our volunteers though, so that we can get people checked in a lot sooner, so things have run a lot smoother this year.
Good work, girl.
The triathlon is now playing a bigger role in keeping kids active.
Kids have been training for the last month, swimming, biking, running in the park, so it just gets them active prior to the event too, so that's positive.
It's teamwork. You get to bike, you get to run, you get to be active. It's really awesome. It's really nice.
Rekimowicz says the event is reaching its capacity, but between the interest from families and the support of local sponsors, there's still opportunity to grow.
That would be ideal, is to actually have a triathlon club, enough interest come from it that association is formed. We read in the paper recently that there's 250 kids competing in Edmonton, and they were excited about that number. So we're really excited that ours is 800.
Josh Ryan, Newcap Sports.
All right, and Josh will be right back from the triathlon to give you your weather details after the break.
This is Newcap Weather with Josh Ryan.
Michaela, guys, I'm back and happy to do some weather, though less happy about the conditions that we're going to get. Beautiful day for that triathlon I was just at a second ago, but not going to be as beautiful tomorrow with the amount of cloud cover we are expecting. Let's take a look at that right now, shall we? Very cloudy skies indeed. We're also dealing with a low pressure system here at the bottom portion of your screen. That's going to make its way slowly up to the northeast section of the map, and as you can see, starts to cover in on our city and the general area around 11 or 12 tomorrow morning, afternoon. Again, it's at a 60% chance for a thunderstorm tomorrow, so there is a outside chance we don't get rained on during Street Fest, but better be prepared for that all the same. Current temperatures right now, it's 25 in Marwayne, 18 in St. Paul, Vegreville at 19, 23 over in Edmonton, and 22 in Lac La Biche, 26 up in Isle La Crosse, Green Lake and Meadow Lake both at 27 degrees, and 26 in St. Walburg. Now we'll look at our national map here. Yellowknife still at 20 degrees. Vancouver dropping down to 18 at the bottom left portion of the screen there. Definitely cool for this time of the year for that city. Regina at 28, at Winnipeg at 23. They're nice and warm. Quebec at 19. 20 for Toronto, and St. John's, which was around 18, 19 degrees most of the week, are now down to just 4 degrees. So a little bit on the cool side. Halifax also sitting at 15 out there on the east coast. Now, 27, the current temperature in the Battlefords, with 15 as the overnight low. So partly sunny skies will become partly cloudy overnight, and a couple of thunderstorms are expected tomorrow, particularly in the afternoon. East-northeast winds will reign throughout the next 24 hours. A heat warning also still in effect for the Battlefords, which will be the case anytime we get to highs above 25 degrees. Now 26 in the Lakeland region, mostly cloudy skies that will start to clear overnight, but will get cloudy again tomorrow, expecting an afternoon thunderstorm, or at least a chance of an afternoon thunderstorm there with a high of 24. East-northeast winds will pave way to east-southeast winds, and once again, heat warning is still in effect in the Cold Lake, Bonnyville, and the rest of the area. In the Midwest, 25 degrees now as we've dropped a couple of degrees over the last 30 minutes. Northwest winds at 15 kilometers per hour, a low of 14 expected overnight, and 25 is the expected high for tomorrow. Again, in the PMs, we're expecting a possibility, at least a possibility of a large thunderstorm shower. East winds of 11 to 15 kilometers there as well. So hopefully, if we do get a little bit of rain, it happens earlier in the day so it doesn't affect the festival later in the evening, but be prepared, again, all the same, as we did get rain last year during Street Fest. 27 on Sunday, then 30 degrees on Monday after a weekend of possible showers, 20 on Wednesday and Tuesday, then 21 Thursday, 22 on Friday to finish the week off. So a couple of days of sun before we have another chance of a thunderstorm there. Wind all over the place, east, west, south, north, and the lows a little bit higher than average for this time of the year, particularly Sunday, with a low of 15 degrees.
This is Newcap Sports.
Well, at season start, the U16A liner struggled. The team's always had a strong approach at the plate, but defensive liabilities have caused the liners grief on numerous occasions. But recently, it seems everything's changed for the better, and according to Lance Phillips, the timing is perfect.
Switching between Lloydminster's Ladies League and the Girls Prairie Softball League can be challenging, but the U16A Liners are thriving under dual leagues. Thursday, the Liners clobbered Onion Lake 10-0, extending their Ladies League win streak to 5. It's all coming together, and the timing is perfect with McLean Ross Cup Provincial Championships coming in July.
Finally, our defense is gelling. They're getting a lot more confidence, so the errors are really cut down. We went one game with one error, one with none. And you know what? When you start doing that and your sticks are still as good as what they were before, you're going to start winning games.
Why doesn't it go back?
In their final 3 games of the GPLS regular season, the Liners went 2-1, improving their record to 9-6. The weekend included wins over Moose Jaw and Elnora. Offensively, the Liners match up well with any team in the GPLS.
Obviously, there's a couple that, you know, they'll have hot weekends, and it seems like no matter what they see in a ball, it's going hard and flat up the middle, right? Which, just like every other kid on any other team, too. But yeah, we're very, very lucky. We've got a lot of depth.
Skills have improved in a short amount of time, but the real reason for Lloydminster's success lies in its players' personalities.
Well, it helps that the team is really getting to know each other and getting close with each other, and we're all getting to know how we play and all of our skills, and it just helps that we're all bonding and we're all close.
I think we're doing I've learned lots of defensive stuff, and we're coming together as a team, so I've got to know lots of these girls a lot better, so that's good.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.